5, 16, 19, 21, 33, and 10. Check results. You remember?
You're the best. Better than all the rest. I know I gotta do this half-hearted attempt at high energy singing because once again it is 3 a.m. And I guess technically I do fit these within the 24-hour time frame. It's just that my time frame seems to run from 3 a.m. to 3 a.m., which is just an awful sort of construct to be living in. But hey, it's the world we're in right now. It's the reality we're in. We just gotta roll with it. Rolling on the river. That wasn't even planned. I'm just that good. Tina Turner died today. Sad. So iconic type thing. Although I would be lying if I said, and this does happen occasionally, this can come from just pure ignorance or just some people maybe seem older than they are because of their iconicness. So like, to me, people like Elvis, Tina Turner, I don't know, just some people of that profile that I don't remember their songs that much because they're not of this era. They could have been alive 70 years ago, 50 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. In my head, they all died just like ages ago. So when I saw the notification pop up, like on the news thing, Tina Turner died, I think like 83 it was. In my head, Tina Turner probably died like 12 years ago. Like I just didn't. That's just a me thing probably. But you know, some songs, Proud Mary. A lot of them I know through Glee. I was a Glee watcher. You know, not alone. I didn't just watch it. I wasn't like, it was like a family thing. I wasn't like actively seeking out those episodes on my own and then just watching them in my own time as a 14 to 9 to 14 year old. No. Glee and Just Dance. A lot of her songs are sort of primed for Just Dance. But yeah, one like Elvis, in the sense that I know they're extremely famous and iconic and like stuff, and she probably has or will have a biopic made about her at some point before I'm dead. But I don't actually know that many songs of. It looks dodgy what I'm doing right now. I'm scratching the inside of my thigh. It's kind of itchy. Hence why I'm scratching it. That goes without saying. But yeah, it's like Elvis. If you told me to name you one Elvis song right now, genuinely, I'm trying to think of one. This isn't a bit. Like I do know of them, and this is the point. If you played some, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I've heard of that. But trying to name you one Elvis song right now. By the way, one of the most iconic people in the world, right? I literally can't even name you one thing that he's actually iconic for. Which is crazy, but I can't do it. Which is kind of wild. I could name you way more songs from Lil Pump than I could from Elvis Presley, but you know, that's why old people hate us, because of, you know, things like that. But yeah, is there anything else I should say on it? I don't know, I'm sort of ill-informed. I don't really know much about. Like, is Freddie Mercury alive? Because they made a biopic on him recently. Is he alive? Like, this is what I mean. I have no idea. Like, is Prince alive? That's a great example. If it said like, I think David Bowie's dead. I think you don't see these people about, so like you just don't know. David Bowie, Prince, Freddie Mercury. I have next to no clue about the whereabouts or living or not livingness of these people. It's just, you know, and it's like if someone walked in the room and told me Prince has just died, I'd be like, oh, really? And if they told me Prince died 15 years ago, I'd be like, yeah, obviously. Like, I don't know. Something weird, kind of weird. Funny in the sense that the nature of hearing about it is funny, but it is also just like awful in the sense that like if this happens to me, I would hate it because I'm paranoid enough as it is, kind of. But Mason Mount, who is kind of out the door at the moment, like it was one of those rumors where I just thought this is just a rumor that's gonna last now. Obviously, he's gonna sign a new contract. Obviously, he's Chelsea through and through. He's gonna be here forever. Kind of slowly turned into a thing where it's like, okay, he's going, he's leaving. And then it kind of turned into a thing where it's like, I kind of wanted him to go, not because I want him to go, but because so many people hate him. And I kind of want him to be another example of a player who leaves and just proves everyone wrong. So out of like just sort of petty / stubbornness / whatever the word would be for it, I want him to go just for some sort of selfish gain I would get when he inevitably proves people proves people wrong and plays well for another team, as has Tammy, as has Tomori, as has others. You could argue like Salah and De Bruyne, but let's be honest, no one was really fighting for Salah to stay when he was here. He wasn't setting the world alight, and De Bruyne, like he barely featured enough for people to say so. I mean, looking back, you'd say that in retrospect, but at the time, I was too young to know about what people were saying in the interwebs, outer worlds. I don't know. I get so itchy at night time. I don't know why. Like in the day, I'm just not itchy. But then, if I stay up, as soon as it gets past like 11, I start to feel itchy. That leads me to believe there's some sort of living organisms in my room that come out at night. But no, I don't have like any like bites. I've got no mosquito bites. I've got no like marks or anything. You know what it's probably down to? Just dry skin. This is really off topic, but just don't moisturize. It's probably it. That's like one of those things you just kind of you grow up, you're like, that's stupid. I don't need to do that. It's like stretching. You're a kid. You're like, I don't need to stretch. Fuck stretch. I'm gonna go run 100 miles and be fine. And you are. And then you just never stretch. And then you're like older, and then you throw your back out, and you're like, fuck, I'm stretching every day now. But it's too little, too late. Moisturizing is one of those things. It probably does do something, and it probably is important, and I probably should be doing it. And I do have quite sensitive skin. Like, quite often I get out of the bath, and I'll dry myself with a towel, and then I'll like put clothes on, and it'll kind of feel like irritated, like along the clothesline, and then I'll check, and it'll be like grazed. There'll be like a scab or something, and I haven't even dried myself hard. Like I've actively done it kind of delicately because I know it's sensitive, and I somehow would have like grazed my skin or like somehow bruised it by. Is this a sign of blood clots? I don't know. I don't want health advice. I'm just getting nervous now about like every single thing I say. Like, I'm itchy. Oh no, people are gonna tell me itch probably means you have secret AIDS. But no, I'm actually fine. I'm not actually that itchy. I'm not just backtracking. Look, I've backed myself into a weird health corner now, which I don't want to be in. I'm fine. There's nothing. I don't want to show my spindly little legs, but they're fine. Yeah, Mason. Oh yeah, basically he was being stalked by some sort of like Instagram model. They like hooked up once. She was like invited to a party because Ben Chilwell knew her through Instagram or whatever. Like, this DM'd each other, and then it said Mount slept with her once, which is kind of like, I hate that whole like it's kind of like when you're at school, it's a whole thing like, oh, sloppy seconds, oh, you got all that type of stuff, right? But then it's like all these footballers. It's like, I can only imagine if Ben Chilwell was DMing her on Instagram and stuff and knew her first, he probably hit, and then probably Mount did, and Reece James walks in the room like, oh, can I have a go? And it's just like, it's like a weird thing. There's plenty of fish, in said ocean. But anyway, that's not the weird part of the story. And that's the weird part, is that she was like, and I can only assume it's down to like just clout chasing or like wanting to find yourself or you're in a relationship with a footballer because then you're set for life. Trying to like get yourself pregnant type stuff. It definitely happens. Where like they linked up once, things kind of died down. She was like texting obsessively. He kind of like tried to cut things off, blocked her multiple times. She made like 21 new numbers, I think it was. She was like sending him screenshots of like the money she paid to get a new number, texting and saying, I'm not eating any more food anymore because I'm devoting all my money to making new numbers so I can message you. She'd show up at the training ground. She'd like. It was a whole thing. I can't think of anything worse. Well, actually, I can. I can think of multiple things worse, but it's not ideal, is it? Getting stalked. I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, or you don't hear about it more. Most people it just stays under wraps more when these types of things happen. But like, I know because of people I know from school, or people I know through people, let's just say, who like are at these kind of parties where like a whole football team is or stuff, and like it is just like a weird, gross kind of like social hierarchy type thing where like the girls there, they see the footballers, and it's kind of like a weird thing where like they want the girls around, you know, and the girls want to be around because they want to, you know, it's like they're rich, they're playing in like the biggest sport in the world, and it's like it's just kind of gross when you think about it, because it's all just like it's all beggy. It's like, oh, I want to be here because of this, and so yeah. It's just like one of them things. It's one of them things. Basically, what I'm saying is, I definitely know that it's very. I mean, everyone knows it, but like I know from like people I know, where it's like they'll be telling you about, oh yeah, I went to this place and there's like these footballers there, and we warmed our way in, and then we got to be with them, and it's just like, you know, that can easily turn into, because low key, I guess it's just kind of natural. I suppose I can see how it happens. Where it's like you think all of a sudden you're like, oh wait, I could actually be in here with a footballer. And in terms of actual long termness, I might never be working again. I might just be sitting around looking after kids. Maybe I'll start my own little clothing line. Call that my job. Realistically, I just got a bunch of other guys running it. I'm living in a lovely, beautiful house in a gay community. Happy days, set for life, and it's just kind of like, you know, that's why Drake is putting hot sauce in his you know what's, you know, but yeah, it is weird. It is weird indeed. But the life of a footballer, fast and wild. I mean, if I was a footballer, I just feel like I'd be the complete opposite of most of them. Like, I wouldn't like going, like, they're going to parties and so it just feels like, I mean, Jack Grealish was talking about how like he's going out and clubbing, so he just loves it. I would just be a mess, man. Maybe I would be going out. I'd just be in the paper all the time and like be public enemy number one. But I just feel like I would like never leave my yard. I would just, I don't know, because I don't feel like I'd be that way with other types. So if I was like I don't know, say I was famous for like anything else, I feel like I'd be pretty fine with it for the most part. But there's just something about being a footballer and everything that comes with that, where I feel like it would paranoid me and weird me out in a weird way, and I would just kind of be like, because it's kind of the media scrutiny that comes with football, I guess, and sort of like the piranha style nature of it all. I don't know. This is just me speaking at 3am about how it's kind of weird that Mason Mount was getting stalked by some girl, and she's also stalking Billy Gilmore, which is kind of like weird, even though I think she was like 21, and I know Billy Gilmore's like 21 or maybe 22 now. Billy Gilmore just seems like a child, so it just seems more predatory, even though it's not really. To be like, oh, I can't have Mason Mount. Well, then I go for the little one, the little version, or Scottish version. Probably gave up on that after he moved down to Brighton. But yeah. It is what it is. This was, what was this? 153, potentially, which means see you in 154.
Here with the kids, and I had like 3 kids, and the geezer was probably on like maximum 20 bags a year. Like the most boring bloke you'll ever meet, like a Euros.